true. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
an old guy. He should have an old Corvette. That's cool. So, anyways, our big lesson for today. So, our main story today. We've been talking about this quite a bit. So, we criticize some of these other financial shows, but the main criticism we have is that one, the advice is not super great. It's generally pretty generic. And two, the problem we have is the main con that happens in finance, and we just want to sort of stick a flag in it so everybody knows. The main con is this: it's the grass is greener on my side. So if you want to come on over to my side, you need to give me money and you need to listen to what I say and buy my products. It's the oldest trick in the book, right? It's the same thing like lifestyle coaches do and Tony Robbins does. Look how happy and well and and well groomed and rich I am. If you want to be like me, buy my books and come to my seminars and pay thousands of dollars. But that's why he's rich. Not because he's actually done any of this, because he's selling you this image that's not real.
Right. Well, you know what? I wouldn't mind that so much if people were teaching you how to do these things for yourself.
Right.
Like teaching a skill or content knowledge as opposed to just a one size fits all systematic sort of thing.
Well, right, right. Well, that's my argument is if you're talking about like Deepak Chopra or Tony Robbins or those guys who are selling you that stuff, yeah, there are people that'll teach you how to do that for a reasonable amount of money, and they're called psychologists and therapists, right? And they will actually help you with those skills to develop those skills, right? And they do it one on one. They're not going to charge you $5,000 to come to a seminar. They're not going to expect you to buy all their books at $50 a pop.
Or they're doing it in small groups and whatnot. I've worked with, varying coaches and whatnot, and I've been participating in a group that's like 4 people, and it's somebody who's more skilled than me that's teaching me, a certain like skill set or whatever.
Well, and the difference is those people, when they're teaching that stuff, it's stuff that's been tested and it's been peer reviewed, so they're not just making shit up, right? That's the difference. As for the guru guy, is probably just making shit up, right? So that's one of those things where that happens in finance too, where yeah, there are people that can help you with your finances and stuff. They're called financial planners and accountants. And you sign contracts with them and they're fiduciaries and they do X amount for X amount of money. Right? But they're actually helping you personally as opposed to, no, come to my seminar, buy my books, buy my apps, watch my show and give me advertising revenue. Right? That's the problem we have.
Right. Any teachers in that respect should be teachers that are like actually looking at your personal situation and trying to teach you things that have you empowered to think for yourself.
Right. Which is, I don't have a problem with you going on a show and like we have a show here and I don't have a problem with somebody going up and taking ad revenue and stuff like that. But we're not going to sit here and sell clients a bunch of stuff about, hey, if you just do what we say, you can be rich. Right? But that's the whole. But that's the con.
I have to tell you, even in my courses, and I'm not a financial planner. I'm a teacher and a coach, and I don't tell my clients at all what it is they need to be doing. I teach them certain bits of knowledge and skills, and I allow them to
do it themselves.
Apply it to their situation, and then I kind of look at it and we talk about it and what it is they want to do, right? But if somebody's trying to put you into some one size fits all or trying to cram you into a seminar of 5,000 people and tell you if you just take these following 5 steps that suddenly that's like the magic key,
right?
I might be a little skeptical about that.
Well, I'm a financial planner, and I would never tell a client I can make you rich. I've actually had clients come in and say, "Well, what do you want?" Well, I want to be rich. Well, yeah, I can't do that for you. I'm not the guy, right? I can't tell you that as a fiduciary. It's actually I could lose my licenses if I say that. But these guys can get
Well,
on.
that's guaranteeing an outcome that you have no control over.
Exactly,
That
but these guys get on it all the time and say, "Hey, if you just do these things, this is how you become rich." Right? That's the con. And yet, that's not how they make their money. They make all their money taking your money by telling you they're going to make you rich. That's the game. That's the con. Right? So, it's that whole joke about they're telling you, well, if you do these things, you'll be rich. Right? But these are not the things that they're doing that make them rich. Right? And it reminds me of what was that bit on Sesame Street? One of these things is not like the other. Right, Lace? You remember that.
I do. I was a Sesame Street kind of a person.
Right. One of these things.
One of these things is
Not like the other.
One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?
So,
I think we can, Duncan. I think we can.
I think we can. So these people that are telling you, look, I'll make you rich, like me, if you want to be on my side of the fence, right, where the grass is greener, just do what I say. But they're over there because they're taking your money. That's the con. That's the game. One of these things is not like the other.
Oh, so yeah, I have to jump in here. So, I am a personal finance coach, and I've worked with other coaches in other arenas, and you're always looking to learn from somebody who's a little further along than you are.
Sure.
But the point that Duncan is making here that I'm appreciating is that you want to pause and consider, A, is this person further along than me? And B, why are they further along than me? If the only reason that they're further along than me is because they're telling people how to be further along than me,
then they're not really further along in that
they're
sense.
not really further along than me, right? But did they do these series of successful things that put them in a path that's further along from me that I can learn from? And then B, is that what they're teaching? Are they teaching me how to do the things they did that put them further along from me? Because if so, that might be worth my time and energy and potentially money. But if they're not really further along than me and all they're doing is like just selling a protocol that they may or may not have actually even followed themselves, what's the point?
Well, that's how they got their money, is they're bullshitting you. They're telling you if you do this,
they didn't get there through any authentic means that they're turning around to try to teach me.
Right.
You know?
I became rich by telling other people how to become rich, even though my advice is total bullshit. That's the con.
I became rich because I learned how to invest in the stock market. I became rich because I learned how to do these varying things with real estate and rental property, and I'm going to, teach you how to evaluate them. Or these things are legitimate skill to teach people versus.
Well, and even then, you can be the smartest person in the world when it comes to finance and never be rich. There are a lot of really brilliant financial people that never hit it, but a lot of part of it's luck. Part of it's you got to be lucky to know the right people, be in the right place, be in the right time. Being wealthy, becoming wealthy at least if you're poor, right? Going from rags to riches kind of thing. That is like falling in love, right? It's like tumblers in a lock. Everything's got to line up. It's got to be right person, right place, right time. Mark Wahlberg was not Wahlberg, Zuckerberg. I can't confuse those two. He says, sorry, Mark Wahlberg. Didn't mean to get on you.
Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark. No, Mark Zuckerberg, was not a super intelligent or brilliant guy. He just was in the right place at the right time. Elon Musk had a very wealthy father, that's what put him in the right place at the right time. So that's what happened. But they sell you this, oh, I'm a genius shit. And it's like, no, you're not. You're just lucky. You know? Anyway, we're going to look at a couple clips.
You know what? I'm gonna throw one thing in there though. You could be lucky and still have something valuable to teach if you're somebody who has the ability to back out of your luck and see what it was that happened right and really figure that out. Because
Right.
that can be, you can stumble onto something really good and be smart enough to back out of it and go, I think you could reproduce this.
Right, but also you
Not
got to acknowledge, yeah, but there's also a factor here of luck. There's a factor of risk.
Of course,
where this could go wrong. And they never do that.
Yeah, that's true.
They
That's
never,
true.
I mean, that's one of those big signs is they don't really ever talk about the risk. They'll mention risk, but they never really talk about what it is. Because they don't really...
pseudo guaranteeing results. Like, they don't use the word guarantee, but they're kind of like putting out there, like, you couldn't lose, you know?
Right. If you just do these things, everything will be fine and work out. Like, there's no risk. When, in fact, no, there's risk in everything you do. And don't do. That's just a fact. So we're gonna watch a couple clips and we're gonna break them down. But that's the main focus that we're gonna kind of surround these things with today.